Designing RESTful applications. When you are creating RESTful applications using JAX-RS, well, for that matter, any kind of the RESTful technologies, these are the things you have to actually be concerned. First, you want to come up with object models, and object models represent resources. And then you're going to design URIs, how you can access those resources in the form of these URIs. And then you have to decide the data formats, whether you want to use, whether you want to use XML, whether you want to use JSON, for example. And you also determine HTTP method to use. Okay. So let's talk about each of these steps in a bit more detail. Creating object models. So object models are created from typically use cases, okay? And use cases are typically you can actually create from UML class diagrams, and object models typically result in resources. So example object models include customer, order, line item, or product. So these are all object models, and these objects are directly represented by the resources. Use case scenario. So what do you want to do with these object models? For example, in terms of customers, we'd like to retrieve all customers. We might want to create a brand new customer. We might want to read a customer detail. We might update or delete a particular customer. And we might want to retrieve all orders of a particular customer. Again, we want to perform CRUD-based operations against the order and against the other customer. So create, read, update, and delete an order of a particular customer. We might want also compute average price of orders for a particular customer, and you might want to actually compute the average age of a customer and things like that. So these are use case scenarios that you can come up with. Okay, so once you got the use case scenarios and you got the object models, basically object models representing resources, now you want to actually come up with URIs accessing those resources. So if you want to retrieve a particular customer detail, you might want to say jpassion.com / customer / and then you specify an ID of that customer. If you want to get all orders, or if you want to get a particular order, you're going to use maybe the name of the localhost and not localhost, the host name, and then orders. And without ID, then you are expecting to get all orders, and ID is actually specifying a particular ID. And same thing with the products. And the last one is a combination of customers and orders. So if I want to get the, if I want to compute the average, if I want to actually retrieve average price of all orders of a particular customer, this is the URL you might want to actually use. Okay. Okay, so that is a second step, designing URIs. And then you want to decide or determine data formats that you want to use. So typically we are talking about either in the form of XML or JSON. JSON is more pervasive data format these days because it's less verbose compared to XML, and it's in fact easy to actually interpret, especially if your client is basically JavaScript based application such as Angular. Okay, so once you have determined the data format that you want to use, you can determine which HTTP method that you want to use. Again, typically we already have patterns, as we talked about. The one that I'm talking about is this one. We already have these patterns people actually use for creating a brand new item, read multiple items, read a single item, update an item, and delete an item. So the combination of HTTP method and resource pattern already kind of kind of agreed upon by the community. Okay, so let's actually get back to HTTP method. So follow HTTP semantics. You want to follow HTTP semantics specified in HTTP specification. If you don't follow this, it will actually confuse your clients. Clients will actually, make the correct assumptions on your services. You probably have to do lots of documentation. And that's actually chore. So you typically want to follow the patterns we talked about. Now, as we talked about, the HTTP method has the concept of safety and idempotency. And safe method means that the method does not change the state of the resource. And idempotent method means that method can be called repeatedly and it should always return the same result. So let's talk about the each of these HTTP method and which is safe and which is idempotent. So get method is both safe and idempotent. Head, same thing. Options, same thing. The put is not safe but is idempotent, meaning put is going to change the state of the server because you're using put to change or update a particular item. So obviously it will change the state, so it's not safe method. Is idempotent, however, you can actually call put method multiple times and it's not going to actually create a multiple, it will actually have a same result. Okay. Delete is not safe and it's not idempotent. Delete obviously will change the state on the server and it's not idempotent either. So if you call delete multiple times, it might not actually return the same result. Post is not safe and it's not idempotent either. So post is typically used to create a brand new item, so it will certainly change the state on the server side, and also it is not guaranteed that it will not actually result in the same result. Okay, so this is an example of customer order. So on the top we have orders, and if you want to use a get method with the orders URI pattern, then you want to get all orders. If you use a put with orders, you are, in this case, put is not used. And post, if you're using post method with the orders, then basically you are adding a new order, and the delete is not used. The next one is order/ID. So this is entry URI pattern. So if you want to use a get with it, then you want to actually get the particular details. You want to actually get the details of a particular order. Put is used to update that order, and post is, so post is typically actually without this ID. Post is typically, this is the first one. This is the one that you want to actually use. Okay? And delete is a cancel order. Then you also have a customers, and at the end here, customer/ID/orders, you could actually have a get all orders of a particular customer. Put is unused, and post is adding a new order to the orders of that particular customer, and delete in this case is cancel all customers orders. So again, the delete could be used on a particular item here, so orders ID, so it's going to cancel particular order. If you use a delete on all orders, then it might actually cancel all orders of that particular customer. So this is a little bit of a repeat of the previous slide, but the one thing I'd like to actually mention here is that you can actually have some kind, instead of a CRUD based operation, create, read, update, and delete, you could have non-CRUD operations, for example, average sale. So if you have order/average sale, basically you are trying to retrieve the average sale price of all those orders. So that is certainly possible in RESTful application. It doesn't have to be just CRUD based operations. Okay, so CRUD operations, again, this is the same slide that we have talked about before in previous presentation. So we're going to actually move forward. So this is a pattern that you want to actually support, and this is a pattern our applications are built with. Okay, so that is the presentation. Now let's actually take a look at the lab documentation. So in this lab, basically we are going to install server-side development tools. And exercise 2, we are going to actually perform CRUD based application operation. Okay, so exercise 1, we expect you guys, basically we are going to use JDK 7 or 8, and we expect you to have installed the Tomcat 8. Well, actually any Tomcat version after 7 is fine. And then download and install any ID of your choice, and then you want to add Tomcat 8 in Eclipse as a new server. So in my case, basically this is Eclipse, and I have Tomcat 8 as installed as a new server, and that's basically the development environment that we are going to use. And exercise 2, we are going to just import the sample applications that are provided, and then we're going to actually access it using browser and curl or REST client and Postman. So we have, let's actually open the project, import the projects, import and the existing. So make sure you expand Maven and then select existing Maven projects. These are Maven projects, so do not use general. So this is not Eclipse project, it is a Maven project. So if you're using Eclipse, make sure you are selecting Maven and select existing Maven projects. Go to next, and then you're gonna go to the directory that you just unzipped it. In my case is in fact the labs, and the one that I have unzip is Java REST design, and there is a samples Maven project, samples Maven directory. So you're gonna actually select it, and you have the two applications. So click finish, and you're going to import this to project, and we're going to just run it and then access that the RESTful services using browser and the call, and then either REST client or Postman. Okay. Now in order to, so this is the import. You're going to import, and so this is the Maven project. Okay, and then we're going to actually run this application customer servers. Sometimes I have a problem of actually my Eclipse actually kind of stuck, and if it doesn't work, then I'm actually stop it. And then you're gonna actually basically you have to actually build it, run as and Maven install, and then you're going to run it, and then you select the Tomcat, and then you're gonna access it. Once you run the application, you're gonna actually see this. You know what, looks like I got stuck with the Eclipse, so I have to so this is the problem once in a while I experience. So in that case, I'm gonna just kill the Eclipse and restart the Eclipse. Okay, and I have to actually clean up the clean workspace 5. This is happens once in a while. And we're gonna actually start the Eclipse one more time here, and then we're gonna actually import the application. And so once it's actually starting it, okay, all right. And once you actually start the application, you're gonna actually see these customers. That's basically getting all customers, and the next link is getting detailed information about the particular customer. And you can get the data in the form of XML, and you can get the data in the so this is then get the first customer. So let me actually, once I have Eclipse up and running, then I'm gonna actually run this guy. Okay, all right, so let's just import the project, and Maven, import Maven project. And that should be the labs. Okay, so on the labs, here we go, and Java REST design, sample Maven, and finish. Okay, so is imported. Okay. And the one I want to try is right click here. So right click, and you are going to build it. So you're going to choose run as and Maven install, and it's going to create a WAV file. Then we are going to deploy the application on Tomcat server. Okay. All right, so let's actually wait until this is built. Okay, so build is done. We are going to right click, run as, and run on server, and select Tomcat. So in this exercise, I want to just kind of get the sense of how CRUD-based application is working. So that's all. And we're going to actually, access these applications using browser to get the data, to retrieve the data, and then we are going to use curl command. So this is an example where we are using curl command. So we are accessing this customer services. We are getting all customers. So we have a bunch of customer information. And in the form of XML. If you want to receive in the form of JSON, you can specify your desired format using accept header. So here you can actually specify -h and accept application JSON, and then you're going to actually see the data in the form of JSON. And then again, if you want to get a particular customer's information in the XML, you can use curl command like this. And here we are trying to get the same data, customer detail information using JSON. Then we are going to create a brand new customer. So I want you to create the test file.json file. You can name it in any way you want with this new JSON information. And then you can actually use xpost using post, and then the URI is going to be customers, and then it will return the information about 201 created, and the location of newly created item is also specified in the location response header. So this is actually exercising creation using curl command. And then you are going to access the detailed information about the newly created customer using curl command, customers/3, and then you can actually update the customer using test file to JSON, and you want to use a put command. Okay, and then you verify the result, and you can also delete the customer, and then you can get the number of customers. So this is an example, which is not really CRUD-based application, but it is actually something you can still do using URI. So the number of customers should return 2. To that 4, you're basically using front-end tool like a REST client and the Postman. So as long as you're done with the call, I'm happy with it. Okay. And homework exercise, I want you to do the same thing for the orders, CRUD server applications, or another applications. And I want you to perform list orders, create a new order, read an order, update an order, and delete an order, and get number of orders. Right? So again, in this exercise, we want to just get the sense of how CRUD-based application is being performed. Okay. All right. Oh, looks like I have a 80/80 problem. Okay, so I am going to okay, so I'm going to kill the 80/80 because I actually killed the Eclipse, the port number that I was actually using. 80/80 is still being held, so I'm going to just perform this guy, nested. Okay, and I'm going to kill that process that holds port 80/80. So I'm going to use this guy, and the port number here is 11388. Okay. Oops. Yeah. 388 11388. Okay, so that is the port number 80/80 is now freed, so I should be able to run as and run on server and select Tomcat, and should be deployed. Okay, so it is deployed. So I am going to actually follow the instruction one more time here. So go to the lab of the exercise. So you can see from the browser I should be able to access the all customers. Okay, and then I can access a particular customer number 1. If I want to access customer number 2, basically I should be able to say customers number 2 like this. Okay, or number 1. Okay. All right, so that is, and then I'm going to just use a call to actually perform a few things. So you can certainly actually use a call command like this. So I'm going to just copy this guy, and it should actually result in like this. And if I want to actually get the particular customer, I can actually get the particular customer. If I want to use a JSON, if I want to receive the data in the form of JSON, again, I can actually copy this guy and do this, and you can see the data is being received in the form of JSON. If I want to actually get the first customer in the form of JSON, I received in the form of JSON as well. Okay, so that is accessing the data. For creating new customer, again, you create the test file.json, and then you should be able to do it. So why don't I actually do it? So here I'm gonna actually go to the lab here, and I think I actually have a test file JSON already. So maybe I'm gonna go to Java REST design. Okay, I don't have it. So I'm gonna just create the data as test file 1 JSON. You can use any editor of your choice, and then I'm gonna just copy this guy. So this is a brand new customer I'm actually creating. So save the change, and then I'm going to use post, and the URI pattern is the collection pattern. So I'm gonna just do this, copy this guy, and run it. Alright, so it looks like it's created, and the location of the URI. In fact, if I actually get this URI and then perform the so this is the command. If I use the call command, okay, so if I want to receive in the form of JSON, or if I want to just get the XML, I can just say call and like this URI, and it should return in the form of XML, right? The poll. And if I want to get in the form of JSON, I should be able to do that, specifying accept header, and I get the data in the form of the JSON. Okay, and then you can update a custom and all that stuff. Okay. All right, so I am going to give you guys about, let's say, 15 minutes to do this exercise 2.